Hey everyone, it's Matt here, and this is a video that is long overdue. Heck, this is a series that is long overdue, and one that I've tried to get off the ground for years, but it started off a little bit different. So this video is actually going to come out, and also, by the way, subsequent episodes from this series are going to come out on our Those Guys Play and our GameTime channel. But whichever one you're watching on, thank you so much for watching. So initially, with the reviews that we started on our Those Guys Play channel, and then again moved to our GameTime channel, I thought, I want to just write scripts and do, little intros and outros and other stuff in the middle when it comes to really cheap games on the Switch. But I want to do it game by game. But over time, I've acquired so many extremely cheap Nintendo Switch games, ones that would take so much time to write scripts, record them, edit the audio, then edit the video and film the video and just do all this stuff that I thought, you know what, how about let's just do top 5 lists, or just 5 lists in general. Some of these might not be the best Switch games, but they are ones that I've gotten throughout the years for extremely cheap. So when it comes to this, the name of the series, I've been thinking either under $20 for these, because none of these are expensive. Again, I cannot stress enough how cheap these are, because if I'm going to buy digital, especially on something like the Switch, I'm not going to break the bank. Or potentially just going for 5 games that you can play right now. So tinkering with it as we're actually filming this right now, but without further ado, my extemporaneous thoughts, non-scripted, just a few little notes here and there on 5 Switch games that you can play right now that are cheap and digital, maybe even digital only. Like I said, we're workshopping some stuff a little bit. So the first game we're taking a look at is called Violet, and it's actually one of the first games that I ever got for my Nintendo Switch back in 2018. I ended up getting the Switch for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I thought that, while I was waiting for that game to come in, I talked about it a while back, it took a long time for Amazon to ship it, even though I pre-ordered it, so I ended up buying some games digitally on the Switch, and this was one of them. And I gotta say, I definitely enjoy the art style. I understand it might not be some people's cup of tea, but I enjoy the 2D art style, especially as it transitions into the 3D gameplay. And the reason why it does that is because the character of Violet, she seems to be very much kind of like an emo middle schooler. She ends up finding this amulet in a house that her parents move into with her, and this amulet ends up Alice in Wonderland style taking her to a brand new world. And I really do love the juxtaposition of this kind of like 2D storybook art style and the 3D gameplay. The game is actually an action point and click adventure game, puzzle as well, but here's the thing though. It says early on in the game, and it tells you up front that it is optimized for mobile, and they're not kidding, because if you're playing this game docked, it is probably, I would argue, one of the worst ways to play this game, because you end up having a mouse literally to click around as if you're playing it on PC, and at that point I might as well just play it on PC. So I would highly recommend, if you want to be stumped by some of these puzzles, definitely do it on mobile and don't have this thing docked. Now here's the thing though, so being stumped by puzzles, normally I am when playing a puzzle game, but normally I do either find out whatever the solution is to the puzzle, or I just end up dumping it. And in this case, sadly, I ended up dumping it. Not initially though. Initially I was intrigued, I wanted to see how I get out of this contraption, but then eventually with this giant creepy ass looking teapot thing, I ended up getting pretty far with it, and it's only the second area. But then all of a sudden, I was completely stumped. I just had no idea where to go next. Would highly suggest maybe using a walkthrough if necessary. But if you want to get stumped, if you want to feel completely puzzled by a puzzle game, then this might be the game for you. But it definitely wasn't for me. I ended up spending about 20 or 30 minutes on it, and I was like, you know what? Not right now. So I don't recommend it personally, but this might be your cup of tea, and hopefully it is. So the next game we're taking a look at is called V.O.I.D, V-O.I.D. Again, another game that I got early on. I believe I got it for under $1. It might have literally been in the cents, about like 9 or 19 cents, which is a little worrisome. But when you're picking up a game for that cheap, you know that your expectations are going to be set very low. And I gotta say, setting them really low, by the way, V.O.I.D stands for Virtual Overpowered Intelligent Droid. Setting my expectations that low, I have to say, the gameplay was extremely difficult. It was extremely NES hard, but I don't know if it was NES hard on purpose or NES hard by accident. Now at first I thought it was on purpose, because you see this screen pop up that says, hey listen, this is trying to make the game very difficult. But here's the thing though, when you actually go through the cutscenes, you end up seeing a lot of just grammatical issues, weird sentences. I don't know if this was translated from another language using Google Translate. The cutscenes, which stinks because I actually do like some of the artwork. I really do, but the cutscenes definitely brought this game down. And also another thing as well is that because it's trying to emulate the NES hard aesthetic, it doesn't have any save functionality. So for a Switch game that came out in 2018, you cannot save on it, and it's not a game you're going to get through in a couple minutes. So personally, I will say that I definitely want to play this with some friends. I definitely want to get some drinks out and some chips out, because this is definitely a game that I think I could have fun with other people, laugh with and whatnot. But just buying it, if you're buying it for full price, I don't know if you should, but definitely getting it for under $1. I would definitely recommend it if you want to be challenged. I do think that some of the challenges are very cheap. That's why I don't know if it's purposefully hard or if it's just cheap on accident. But what I will say is that there is heart in this game, and I do definitely suggest it if you want a game with heart that is cheap, both in price and also in some of the gameplay. Here you are, but I do think that not having save functionality, for me personally, is a complete pass. I just do not want to touch this again unless I'm laughing with some friends. But I will say though, look at this Goku. That's literally Goku right there. But I will say though, it still is fun even with all of that. I should also mention what kind of game it is, shouldn't I? So as you can see, it's clearly a, Mario-style platformer. You're just jumping off enemies, bouncing off them. Again, very difficult. Not the biggest fan. Also, you can see the lives that you have up there. It's a one-hit kill. You also get these shards. These enemies are very interesting, I'll say that much. It's your standard platform affair that I half recommend, half don't. Now the next game we're taking a look at is one that I recommend all the way. Look at that, recommending a game all the way. Who knew that you could do that? It's called The Long Reach. Now this is also a game that I got for $5 or under. I find it very interesting. It's a game that you're actually going through a zombie apocalypse, but you're in the early stages, and you don't, you know that you're in the early stages because obviously if you've bought the game, you read the summary, but starting off the game, if you're like me and you're going in kind of forgetting that, you're like, yeah, this is about zombies, I think, right? It actually is a very interesting, it's not a point and click adventure, but it definitely does have a lot of text. So if you're someone who doesn't want a lot of text in your games, you just kind of want to get in there and play, this probably isn't the game for you. But for me, I'm enjoying it because I really feel like with all of the different text options, the dialogue options, that I'm really controlling these characters as I'm playing and kind of seeing things devolve and learning more about these characters as you're playing through the game. I find that fascinating. So far I've seen 2 different characters in 2 different locations. I don't know what's going to, if we're ever going to find out what's going on with the zombies, what's leading us to that point, but I do find it very interesting. I also love the artwork as well. You can move left to right, so thankfully it's not a point and click. You can actually just move around, but you can talk to different people, interact with the environment, and kind of change things a little bit before, the end, quote unquote, of the scene. So it does seem like as if, as far as I know, that things are going, at least at this point, are going the way that they should no matter what. I don't know what changes will affect things as the game goes on, but right now though, I gotta say I love the atmosphere, I love the music, I love some of the dialogue as well. It really is fun for me so far, and I definitely can't wait to jump back into it. This actually takes place around Christmas time, which is a very interesting time to have some zombie apocalypse thing break out. Just a juxtaposition of the zombies, something you would normally think around Halloween, versus the merriness of Christmas. And I just really want to delve more into this game, and as I mentioned earlier, I definitely recommend it as well. Now this next game is completely free, and it's one that I got initially because I thought, ooh, free game, and then I realized why. This is definitely going to be me showing my age, as I'm 30. At the time I was in my late 20s. I don't know too much about Brawlhalla, so I have spent $0.00 on this game, and I feel like I can tell because I was trying to play as Rayman and I suck. This is a very interesting game because I knew of it. I know what it is. I know that it's like Smash Brothers, but you know, it's basically the WB game multiverses before that was a thing. Just kind of combining different, of course, multiverses being a, you know, Warner Brothers owned game. In this case, though, it's just not. It's just kind of crossing over different characters from different universes. So I suck at this game. I don't really recommend this game unless, of course, you do. I actually want to hear your recommendations on it down below. If you enjoy this game or have enjoyed this game, recommend me some ways to play it, because I was trying to just play it just by myself, just trying to play, and you know, as Rayman, a character that I'm like, I vaguely know you, because a lot of these other characters are just made for the game, and I sucked, and it felt very slow, and I didn't know what was happening. And then I saw that you could actually buy characters, like characters from Steven Universe. And then I saw like the currency converter. I was like, oh, well, I Googled. I was like, okay, let me convert. What's the currency, you know, for like how much would I be paying to buy a character from Steven Universe? And it was way too expensive. And there's other cool characters as well, like from The Walking Dead, oddly enough. But no, I just wasn't gonna buy any characters. And it clicked really immediately, like why the game was free. So I do not recommend this. I think that there are better fighters out there from the little bit that I've played. But again, though, if you recommend this, I actually do want to hear your thoughts down below. You know, maybe I was quote unquote playing it wrong. Maybe I just don't know enough about, like, you know, the franchise and how I quote unquote should be playing it. But from the very brief time I had with this, it just did not hook me whatsoever. Oh, but this last game, I recommend the ever-loving shit out of. This is Cosmic Star Heroine. So I don't know if you're familiar with Cthulhu Saves Christmas, which is a real game, but the team behind that actually developed this as well, and I believe it's actually out for all major platforms currently, not just for the Switch. I think it's for Steam as well, if I remember correctly. So this game actually was really very much on sale. Like, I think I got it for $8 or under, and I was like, huh, that's interesting. It's called Cosmic Star Heroine, one of the first games I got on Switch, but I also did not play it early on. I only played it fairly recently, and then when realizing that it's actually a turn-based RPG, very much like something I would have played on the SNES back in the day, I was completely floored. I am so excited to jump into this. You play as a badass kind of like bounty hunter, just kind of, or really, I say bounty hunter, but more so part of an organization, although they do talk about her as if she is a bounty hunter, and she's about to take on a mission straight up Die Hard style, and you're just thrown right into that. And they do have a tutorial as you're going through the game, so you do learn like little things about the game, because even though it is a turn-based RPG of old, there still are certain abilities and whatnot that are unique to this game that you want to use as you're fighting other enemies, and see, you know, what their weaknesses are and whatnot. So you start off with just playing as the main character, Alyssa, and then another character pops up, and it's very much like oh, nice to see you again, so do you want to fight or team up? And you end up teaming up and going against these bad guys in this giant tower, again very Die Hard-esque, and thrown into these like these cutscenes, and just how amazing the art style looks like. I normally don't like to rely on nostalgia, and it's kind of funny seeing some of the games, especially the ones that I first started playing on this channel. You know, if I'm playing like an SNES game, I want to play a different game than I played as a kid. Yes, on the channel I try to play games that, you know, I either know, or I go in completely without knowing anything about the game, either new or old, but still I try to play games in my spare time that might be from the, you know, eras that I knew as a kid, but I didn't get to play them at the time for one reason or another. Some of them being fan translations. You know this, as you've probably seen me do some fan translation videos on this channel. But when it comes to this game, it really does feel like a kind of Final Fantasy game that I just never got to play as a kid, or a, you know, like a Chrono Trigger or something like that I just never had the chance to play. It is fascinating, and it just looks stunning. That's the thing. It looks gorgeous. It looks like it belongs on the Switch, and at the same time, and I say gorgeous both in the sprite work, both in the character work, and also just how this game plays. It is wonderful in so many different ways. I would highly recommend it. If you have not tried out Cosmic Star Heroine, please do. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And now let's jump back to me in front of the shelf. So, did you like these games? Did you not like these games? Did you kind of thought they were meh, tell me down below. I would love to hear it. And if you want to see me do more videos like this, either on our Those Guys Play or our Game Time channels, please comment down below. And if you like videos like this, then please remember to like and subscribe. On Those Guys Play, we do a bit more Let's Play. Every now and again, we do a pickups video, did I get what I ordered, and also a buying guide and some other fun stuff on Those Guys Play. But when it comes to Game Time, it's usually just scripted reviews and even a bit more extemporaneous with our Gamer Pass series, but that one actually might already be out by the time this video is out. So either way, love y'all, take care, tune in next time, and see ya.